Welcome to Pollen Weather by Pollen Wise App. It's Tuesday, September 8th. I'm Landon Bunderson, and this is the place for daily allergy news and forecasts. Wet weather from Idaho to Wisconsin will keep pollen low today in the north. Meanwhile, the west coast has fire weather conditions, though the heat has moderated a little. But the big weather story and pollen story is the north central Rockies and adjacent high plains region. Wintry weather has come to that region, and the high elevations may see up to 6 inches of snow. So what does that have to do with pollen? Well, frost. Denver and Cheyenne are predicted to have overnight lows in the 20s. The frost that comes with that cold could end the chenopod and ragweed season in that region. That means the only main allergen left in that area will be sagebrush pollen, which is just now beginning to trickle in. We're seeing a shift in pollen levels in northern Texas. I think this is a sign that weed season is indeed finally starting to ramp up. We've had a couple of false starts recently. Monterrey, Mexico will peak at 89 on the pollen index today, and another day of high and very high pollen in the Midwest, coastal California, and high pollen in the southeast, with the exclusion of Florida. Florida will have some tropical wet weather today. Some very high mold levels persisting in the west, especially southwest Wyoming and Central Valley, California. Midwest mold is letting up a bit, though levels are still forecasted to be high on our mold index. Air quality is still poor in the southwest. California, you just need a light drizzle for about a week, though I don't see that in the near forecast. Tuesday's feature is average peak hour for the different regions in the U.S. for the last 7 days. For much of the country, the average peak for the last week was pretty typical. Peaks at noon, 1 p.m., and 2 p.m. That's when we expect it, but it just doesn't do that all the time, and that's one of the reasons we report hourly counts on the Pollen Wise app. And this week in the eastern U.S., the northeast peaked on average at 3 p.m., while the southeast peaked an hour later at 4 p.m. This is important if you, your pets, or your kids are doing outdoor activities in the late afternoon. You'll definitely want to watch the app and avoid those peak hours, especially if there are red numbers, which means very high. Thanks for listening. Remember, you can find previous episodes on the Pollen Channel on YouTube. If you're listening on YouTube, check out the Pollen Wise app, the only place for real hourly pollen and mold counts.